me today on Simmer Down. Today we are going to make some baked turkey thighs. But before we get started, I want you guys to know that I did take the time out to clean the turkey meat, because all meat that you cook must be clean, besides ground meat. But any other meat, steak, you name it, it needs to be clean. I cleaned it with lemon, vinegar, salt, and water, all right? I scrubbed the skin, I took the stubs out, the little feathers and stuff that was still left in the turkey. I took that out as well and scrubbed and scraped the skin with a knife. And now we're ready to get started. So now let me go wash my hands and put on some gloves, and then I'm gonna show you guys how I season my turkey thighs. All right, so stay tuned, I'll be right back. Here I have pieces of ginger. I'm going to put it inside the Ninja cup. And now I'm going to take 1/4 cup of water and I'm going to put it into the Ninja cup. All right, so now we're going to press the power button. And then we're going to press single serve. Okay, so this is the consistency that we want. It's very similar to applesauce. This is 1 cup of ginger that I blended in the Ninja cup. So just make sure that the consistency is just like this in this amount if you're going to do 2 turkey thighs, okay? So let's get started on seasoning. Okay guys, so I washed my hands and I'm ready to roll. I have 2 turkey thighs in this bowl. And now I'm just going to drizzle a little bit of olive oil onto the turkey. Just a little bit. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I want the seasoning to be able to coat the turkey without it falling off. I'm going to start off with pink Himalayan salt, sea salt. I'm going to use about, I'll say a teaspoon and a half, but you can use as much as you like. Some onion powder. I'm going to use about 2 teaspoons of onion powder. About a tablespoon of onion powder. All right. Some ground black pepper, about a teaspoon. Some Maggi all-purpose seasoning. I would say about a teaspoon of this because it has a lot of sodium in it. And then we have the Maggi seasoning. Which is almost like a little bit of soy sauce. About a teaspoon. This is going to help with the browning process. Pimento seeds, whole pimento seeds. I'm going to put about, I'm so sorry about that, guys. So the whole time I'm thinking I'm recording and it was not recording at all. But I think we're good now. So what I put in here already was, I used about just a handful of pimento, whole, allspice, whole pimento seeds. So I would say about 8 of them. And this is how they look. Meat and poultry seasoning. I used about a teaspoon of meat and poultry seasoning. And garlic, a tablespoon of garlic. All right, that's all in here. And then I used 1/2 cup of ginger, which is right over here. I didn't want to use it all because ginger could be a little spicy when you put too much. It's overpowering. All right, so that's in there. And now, oh, I also used, I minced up some garlic. Sorry, not minced. I pressed some garlic. 4 cloves of garlic was pressed, okay? and I use this to press it. All right. Now we're back on track, and the time is still going. So here I have about 1.5 cups of green peppers that I cut into little pieces. They're like julienne cut. All right. I'm going to start off with half of the bowl. The same thing here. This is just red peppers that I cut julienne style. I'm going to take half of this as well. We have some onions. This is about I would say half of a medium onion, julienne cut. I'm going to take half of this as well. Sprigs of thyme. So now we're going to take our time and we're going to mix this all in. We're going to just rub this all in. It's like you're giving it a massage. Make sure you go in the meat as well, the little creases, to make sure all the flavor is in there. I'm going to also put in a little bit of Scotch bonnet pepper. I would say about 1/4 of, mix that in as well. Be careful with the Scotch bonnet pepper because it does have a kick to it. It's like really spicy. So if you're going to use it and you don't really care for spice, make sure you remove all of the seeds out of the Scotch bonnet pepper, because then if you don't, what's going to happen is it's going to be extremely spicy and you're not going to enjoy it at all. So remove the seeds before you start cutting it up. All right, so this is the turkey thighs. All right, I'm going to let it sit for an hour in the fridge. And then when I come back, we're going to pan fry it before we put it in the oven. Stay tuned. Okay guys, so I'm back. The turkey has been marinated for an hour, all right, in the fridge. Now I'm going to brown it on top of the stove first before I put it in the oven. So I'm going to start off with some EVOO, extra virgin olive oil. And I'm using this pot, which is a Dutch pot, because it's wider. And I think you guys will be able to see both of the turkey thighs being fried versus in the frying pan that I have. So we're just going to start off with this amount of oil. Not too much. I would say about 1 cup full of oil. And we're not going to cook the turkey. We're just browning the top part, the skin and the top part of the meat first before we put it in the oven, because we don't only want the food to taste good, we also want it to look good. Let this get a little hot. I have the eye on, I would say, medium to high heat. And while we're waiting for the oil to get hot, you see these little veggies that's on top of the skin and meat? I'm going to start moving that to the side. When I put the turkey into the oil, is going to be only turkey that's going in here, no veggies. The veggies are going to stay in this bowl. All right, we're not taking the veggies out. We're going to just separate it from the meat before we fry it. If there's a little bit of veggies left on the meat, that's okay, but try to get as much as you can off. Now when I start to see ripples in my oil, then I know that the oil is hot. So now I'm going to place it skin down first. Okay. See, this is what's left over that we left behind. It's not going in this pan. This is for the baking process, okay? Because we're not cooking this turkey. We're just browning it. So either way, it's still going to be raw. And it's going to be all right to mix this together back in the bowl because it's still raw meat, all right? And it still has to be thoroughly cooked in the oven. I would say we're going to have this brown on each side for about, I would say about 5 to 8 minutes. And you'll know when it's time to flip it because the skin is not going to stick to the pan. but we need it to give it some time to brown. So while I have this browning on both sides, I have my oven preheated on 390 degrees. We want to make sure that the oven is hot, so once this is done frying and we put it into the baking pan, we can go into the baking process. We don't want the meat to be sitting around waiting for the oven to get warm or hot. Okay, so it's actually been exactly 8 minutes. I'm going to start flipping it to the other side. Alright, you guys can see that color in there. Alright. This is the color onto the meat. Nice and brown. Alright. We're going to do the same on the other side. Wait about 8 minutes and then we'll put it in a roasting pan to bake in the oven. Okay? So let's give it another 8 minutes. Stay tuned. Okay, so now I believe it's time to flip it over. Let's see how it looks. It's got a browning on this side and it's got a browning on this side. Alright? So this is good. I'm going to transfer it into the baking pan. You don't even really have to worry about like draining. As long as you pick it up like this. This is the pan that I'm using. The one that I used in my meatloaf video. Just let it drip. And then I'll place it in here as well. I don't know if you guys remember, we have this right here that we use to marinate the turkey with. We're just going to go ahead and put it in to the pan, the baking pan. I'm just going to use a spoon. And make sure that you drizzle it onto the skin, onto the meat, the juices that's left in this bowl. Alright, and then slowly start putting in the veggies. And spread it out. We're going to take this right here and cover it with a lid, and then we're going to put it in the oven. I would say we're going to start off with 45 minutes on 390 degrees with the lid on. Okay guys, so it's been exactly 45 minutes and this is how the turkey looks. Alright. If you guys can see the juices down at the bottom of the pan. We need that, so we don't want to drain that out. But we still have some fresh veggies here that I want to include into the pan. I don't know if you guys remember the veggies that I said we were going to put half of it to the side. It's the half a cup of onions that I put to the side. Some green peppers, sweet green peppers, half a cup. And this is a half a cup of sweet red peppers. You can use any color peppers. You can add yellow if you like. I didn't have any yellow, so I'm using this. And normally I use ketchup, but today I'm going to use tomato paste because I think that's a little bit more or less sugar in it than ketchup. And this is going to also help with the gravy and in the pan. Alright, so right here I have a little opening where I'm going to now put in the tomato paste right in this little area right here to stir it in. You want to make sure it mixes well. You don't want it to be lumps of tomato paste in your pan. Now that we put the tomato paste and all that stuff in there, we need to take a small amount of water, about a cup full of water, and pour it around the sides just to start creating a little bit of juice, a little bit of gravy for the turkey thighs. So this is about a cup full of water. Don't pour it directly on the meat, just on the sides. And kind of move the juices along. I don't know if you guys can see, it's a little bit more juices flowing. I'm going to take this spoon and just base it. Try to spread the veggies out evenly. We're going to put this back in the oven for about 45 minutes, all right, to an hour. I'm going to be checking on it. It's because I like my meat to be a little tender and it's not there yet. All right, so let's put the lid back on, put it back in the oven. Do not change the temperature. Leave the temperature at 390 degrees and set your timer for 45 minutes. Okay, so in the midst of checking the turkey, I realized that I forgot to tell you guys to need to poke some holes in the skin part and inside. Go deep down into the meat because you're going to start basting it, okay, with a little bit of the juice that we just created. Go back here, do the same thing. You can see it's getting really tender already. You just want to do the same thing. All right, so now we finished basting it with the juices at the bottom of the pan. And we're just going to put it back in the oven for another, it should be 30 minutes, okay? All right, stay tuned. Okay, guys, so the turkey is almost done. But before it comes out, I want to take these veggies right here and put them in a saucepan with a little bit of olive oil and butter, because we want some veggies to be a little bit slight crisp on top. We don't want all the veggies to cook down. So we're doing this really for presentation, and then some people just like the, you know, a little crisp to their veggies. So I'm going to put some in a saucepan. I have my extra virgin olive oil. I'm just going to sprinkle some in the pan. I have my pan preheated on medium-high heat. About a teaspoon of butter. And then the same veggies that we had before, just a handful. And remember, we're just putting oil and butter together just to slow down the burning process. All right? So because these veggies all cook evenly at the same time, like one doesn't cook faster than the other, we can just put this in the pan at one time. And what we're doing is just sauteing it, okay? We want to keep the crisp, a little crisp in there, so we're not going to cook it too long. I'm going to take a little pinch of salt to sprinkle in this pan. And that was pink Himalayan salt. It looks like it's sweating. Once it starts to sweat, it lets me know that some of the juices are naturally coming out, which is making it a little bit softer. So I'm going to cut off the eye from here and just let it cook on its own. And maybe in another 1 minute or two, we're going to take it off the eye so it doesn't continue to cook. And this is just to put on the topping of the meat once we plate it, okay? Okay, guys, so it's been in the oven for a total of 45 minutes. And just keep in mind, in between, we did baste it. So now I'm going to show you the final touches. All right, so this is it. 45 minutes later, this is what we have as far as the baked turkey. All right, I'm going to take this, and I'm actually going to take out, I don't know if you guys can see this thyme sprig that's in here. I'm gonna remove it, all right? I think there's a few in here. So I'm gonna remove this out before I plate it. Okay, so now I have plated the turkey meat. Let me see if I can bring it closer to you guys. All right, so this is the turkey meat. I'm going to take some of the veggies that I sauteed. So this is it. My turkey, baked turkey thighs. And have it with white rice, brown rice, any way you like. If you just want veggies with it, that's fine. Okay guys, so I actually have a bonus. This video is not completely closed. All right, someone's here to actually try the turkey. This right over here. All right, they're going to try it and they're going to give you a review on it. This brother man from the from the 5th floor. straight from West Africa, Benin. He's going to try my turkey thighs, but he's going to use a butter knife. And if you look very well, the ridges on the butter knife is over here on this side, but he's going to cut it with the straight, the side that's not sharp, okay? Just to show them, if you can, I don't know if you can bring it over this way. Can you cut it? All right, so you guys see very well the inside of the meat. He used the back side of the butter knife.
Oh my God.
What?
Telling you, this is the best meat ever.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So what does it taste like? Is it something similar to what you had before in Africa?
Yes. Same taste, great taste. I like this. Yeah, I'm investing in this food, man.
Guys, you hear it from his mouth, not mine. I think he's going to carry it away like Miss Chrissy did when I'm
having this.
When we had the steelhead trout, Chrissy had walked away to the dining room table to eat. Well, he's doing the same. So, I want to close this out by saying thank you for subscribing to my channel. Please like the channel, subscribe, and also comment down below if you have any questions. Click the notification bell if you want to be notified when I have a new video out. Until we meet again, please guys, stay safe and enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.